Welcome everybody to this exciting talk that we're going to have today. We are so very excited here at CyberWarrior for this event that they're hosting. We're just so thrilled to have none other than Director Jen Easterly of CISA to come and share with us a little bit today.
So glad to be here. CyberWarrior has been a fantastic partner for us, and I'm most excited about the panel that's going to follow us, because I know we've got some great folks who can talk about making the transition from the military into the cyber profession. My identity is very much wrapped into being a soldier, being a veteran, and I'm very proud to say that CISA is actually 40% veterans. And so I want to wish everybody out there a very happy Veterans Day. It's incredible to know that we have people who have been very willing to serve their country, continue to serve our country, whether it's in uniform, out of uniform, or continuing in federal service. So it's really humbling to me. And, one of the reasons that I think veterans can be so successful in the field of cybersecurity is that with respect to cyber defense in particular, you cannot be effective in this field unless you are a collaborative person, unless you are a team player, unless you are a servant leader. And those are the skills that are going to make veterans particularly successful in the field of cyber as you look to transition out of the military and look to take a job, whether it's in a place like CISA or whether it's in a place in the private sector.
If you are a veteran and you're entering this workforce, being intellectually curious is critical, is foundational.
Got excited with everything in the relation from military to cybersecurity, the defense, the purpose. So with that, the biggest thing I've learned in my journey to overcome is to stay motivated and consistent. And the biggest thing for that for me is to work in ebbs and flows, peaks and valleys, making sure that you're giving bursts of energy and commitment and motivation towards certain topic, but also allowing yourself that time to rest and reflect. I think both is very important. It's very easy to burn out. It's very high pace. But with that, I would say that my advice to other veterans looking to transition is to figure out what motivates you and where your passion lies within that field to help sustain that long-term interest and growth in this field.
And this is the kind of profession where you have to be able to work together to solve problems. And so it's aptitude and it's attitude. And you don't need a college degree. It helps to have some certifications if you don't have a degree, but really it's about your ability to be part of a team effectively and your ability to take on tough problems and to be able to solve them. And I don't know any population of folks better than veterans who fit the bill on those two things.
And I agree with Director Easterly. I don't feel that a college degree is absolutely required, but it's a very competitive world out there, and anything that you can do to kind of give yourself an advantage, I think is a good thing to do if you can do it.
I am a cloud security architect for Google. I do not have a college degree, but what I do have in great abundance is that intellectual curiosity. What I have in great abundance is that ability, that aptitude that Jen spoke about, and that ability to learn.
And make sure you build and maintain networks. So those same people you serve with could be the same people that you're working with out in the private sector at some point. So just make sure you're maintaining those relationships, have confidence and understand that I'm here because I'm worthy of being here. I've earned it. And then also be the representation that I want others to see.
Diversity is one of our core principles at CISA. And for anybody who may be interested in joining CISA, I would recommend you go to cisa.gov/culture. Because as you look to transition out of the military and you want to find the right job for you, I always tell people, look for two things. First of all, look at the culture of the organization you're joining, and then who are you going to work for? Because that often matters as well, because you want to work for somebody that wants to develop your career, that is going to be, either a good mentor or a good sponsor or a good coach. And frankly, I think diversity is a critical part of the successful culture of any organization. And it's not diversity for diversity's sake. Diversity, creating a diverse environment is the right thing to do, but it's also, very importantly, the smart thing to do, because we know the full range of diversity, whether that's neurodiversity, diversity of gender identity, of sexual orientation, of race, of national origin, of background, of skill, of being a veteran, of education level, all of that together equals diversity of thought. You want to have different ways of looking at a problem to be able to solve that problem as effectively as possible. And so that diversity of thought is key to being successful in a field that is highly demanding, highly challenging, and highly dynamic.
What I've learned over time is to really, take the time to observe, ask questions, and also when you're leading teams as well, right? It's teams will have, or your team members may have a questioning attitude, and that's okay. You're going to make mistakes, but I think, the number one thing is to, have belief in yourself, be confident, right? And, and try to continuously, move forward and observe what's happening around you. That's, having that and developing that self-awareness is extremely important, and it takes time to do that.
Create your own brand. You can't wait for the organization that's on the front of your paycheck to become your brand. My brand is not Google. That's where I work. But my brand is not a guy who works at Google. My brand is that I am an expert at what I do. My brand is that I am an expert in public speaking. My brand is that I am an expert in mentoring and motivating other people. What is your brand?
Find your groups, your niches, your passions, and hone in on those groups and talk with those people and try to share information. I think that was one of the biggest things when I attended CyberWarrior that helped me connect so much with the rest of the graduates and the rest of the students there is my commitment to myself and others of learning, not only me learning myself, but helping others learn as well, and as well as them teaching me. I learned from everybody else, and me talking and going through this stuff and learning myself, I feel like when we're saying that out loud, it just helps each other. We're returning the favor to each other.
Social media is a good way for you to, plug into, of course, I would say CISA's page, but plug into some of those other cybersecurity communities. So when there's opportunities that come up, whether it be careers or whether it be meetups or whether it be training, right? It gives you an opportunity to broaden your network beyond just the people you know.
Happy Veterans Day to all of the veterans. And for those of you who had questions about what do I do, how do I get a job, reach out to CyberWarrior, reach out to John and to Rainier. They'll put you in touch with the folks at CISA and even Cigna. Peter is a hiring manager. They'll put you in touch with folks because that's what they do, and they do it very well. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us.